Now, June is LGBTQ Pride Month in Israel, and various companies and organisations here are changing their attitude towards the proud community, spotlighting their unique experience in a bid to promote inclusivity and understanding. And we're delighted to host one such person who will tell us from his experience about the way Israeli society has done in this area, Ofer Erez. Welcome, Ofer. It's so great to be speaking with you. Now, you're actually a pioneer who made history here in Israel. You were the first transgender officer in the IDF. Tell us more.
Apparently, yes. I was drafted in 2012. Back then, the IDF and most of the militaries around the world didn't even acknowledge the fact that trans people exist and serve in the military. But here in Israel, we have mandatory draft. Everybody serves in the military. And so for me, it was almost an obvious thing. During the service itself, I realized that the challenges I faced would be very common for any trans person. And I did whatever I could in order to solve those challenges through policy change, and I was actually able to write and initiate the first and ever IDF official policy regarding trans service, and today I'm still serving in the reserve force, guiding, teaching, and consulting regarding LGBTQ inclusivity in the military and in other places.
Wow. And how far do you think Israeli society has come when it comes to, I don't even like to use the word tolerance, but tolerance of the LGBTQ community?
I think we are not yet in the, I wouldn't call it tolerance. I know why tolerance is complicated here. Let's call it diversity or inclusion. We are not yet in a place where I can say that there is full inclusion for the LGBTQ community, especially not in the periphery. But I think that visibility and awareness is much, much higher. And visibility is the first step towards inclusion. Our ability to talk to communities that we have never been able to talk to before, very conservative places and societies in Israel. So there is a constant progress, and yet you always feel the pushback. And I think it's something that every activist, especially LGBTQ activists in those days, know exactly the feeling of, you know, in one hand, you see a major progress. You can see companies like Microsoft, who invited to the video we talked about, supporting the community, and in the same time, we see from mayors to prime ministers in certain countries that are going backward.
And very briefly, you referred to that video, which gives tips to people about how to make, for example, trans people feel comfortable in the office. Very quickly, tell us what are the most important things that people should be paying attention to?
Respect and sensitivity. I think for all of us, and my friends joked about my video saying, all of your tips are relevant to all of us, not just for trans people or LGBTQ people. It's about respecting one another. For example, don't get me out of the closet if I didn't do it myself. This is a private thing. I want to respect my privacy. How do you address people? Show respect, either through pronouns or just don't ask me questions you wouldn't ask other people. And the final tip is be proud with us. And I honestly believe that places from the military to Microsoft, in each and every place, if you are a part of an organization that supports publicly the LGBTQ community, you would know you don't need to hide here. You can be whoever you want to be, and you can make this place your home.
Well, if I'm going to insert my opinion, there should be no other approach than compassion and, as you say, inclusivity between people. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your perspective.
Thank you. and happy Pride Month.